Oh, that's okay. So how many people have been here at least twice? Oh, anybody more than twice? 3 times? Still 3? Oh, okay. We got some real. How about 4? Wow, we got some people who are. What about 5? And we still have hands up. You look like you're only 5. How could you come 5 times? So good. Well, I'm glad that you all have come back to join us. So earlier today, were you able to spend time with your parents and learn about some things that they do here at work? You did? Okay, at least somebody did. Huh? And so what we want to do is also, as we go around in the afternoon, let you participate in some other workshops. So I'm just curious, how many people already have an idea of what you want to be when you grow up? You do? Okay, let me just see my 5-timer over here. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
A teacher. Oh, that's great. Okay, so let's see. Somebody else?
I just want to work here.
Oh, sign him up. Okay, very good. Okay, what about you?
I want to be a cook.
A cook. Okay, I need your name later. Okay, and you?
Basketball player.
Got a basketball player, and you?
A pediatrician.
Pediatrician. Very good things. How about you?
I want to own my own cafe.
Own her own cafe. We know there's a cook over there. You might want to talk with her. Okay, and what about you?
A tattoo artist.
Oh, wow. Talk about diversity. Okay. And you?
Doctor.
Doctor.
Marine biologist.
Ooh, got some people with some things really going on here. I'll get 2 more.
I want to be a mad scientist to bring fidget spinners back to life.
A very specific goal he has.
A veterinarian.
Oh, and a veterinarian. Excellent. So you can see there are a lot of different things that we want to do. And so we're hoping that as you continue your education and you learn some things here that can help you out. So the theme of our program today is about dependability. And so does anybody know what it means to be dependable? Anybody have any idea? And so part of that is that you honor your commitments, that you do what you say you're going to do, so that if you agree to do something, that you do it. And I'll tell you that one way you become known for what it is you do. So if you're the one who is always cooking and providing good meals, and we say, oh yeah, that's a cook, because that's what they do all the time. If you're the one who's always doing your homework and turning your grades, and we say that's a good student. And so it's important that we understand what commitments we're making and that we honor them. And so when you're dependable, people can count on you, right? And so who do you count on? Are there people in your lives that you count on? Just say, who do you count on?
My mother.
Mother. How about some? Oh, got.
I count on fidget spinners.
Okay, so we'll see how that helps us later on in life. Okay. Okay, who do you count on?
My sister.
And sister. So again, our family, there are people we count on. So other people, other than family, others that we count on? Go talk with the cook's friend back here. So who do you count on?
My friends.
Friends. Okay. So we count on our family, we count on our friends. How about we count on our teachers? You know, that they're going to show up every day. We may count on our doctors and people who are helping us out. Anybody on a sports team? Yeah, so you have to count on the people on your sports team. How about people who might be play an instrument, you're in a choir? Can you be in a choir all by yourself? No, it's other people. And so it's how are we going to be dependable? So as I said before, we have some workshops planned for you this afternoon. But I'm going to get out of your way because we also have a guest speaker with us this afternoon. So he's going to spend a little bit of time talking to us and engaging with us around dependability and how we're all connected. So I'm introducing to you now Dr. Bridal Pearson. So Dr. Pearson has been a professor at the University of Baltimore for more than 15 years. He also teaches at Coppin State University. And he's won awards for teaching. So do you think he's been dependable Probably done a couple things right. He's even won awards for his ability to teach. He's also active in his community, and he's traveled to some really cool places. How about this? Raise your hand if you've been to any of these places. He's been to Morocco and Egypt, Peru, Panama, London. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, we got a couple who've been to London, Trinidad and Tobago, Thailand. I mean, he sounds like somebody I want to hang out with because at least you get to go to really cool places. But at this point, if you could give a round of applause as we welcome Dr. Pearson up.
How's everyone doing today? Good. Thank you so much. Before I get started, we're going to play a little game. I'm going to walk around and I'm going to point to the group, and I want you to say what I say, okay? I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
Come on now. Say it with passion. I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
There you go. I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
That's it. I am amazing. I will follow my dreams.
I will follow my dreams.
Wow. Yeah. We all are beautiful. There we go. I'm going to make a difference in the world.
I'm going to make a difference in the world.
That's it. This one may be a trick. I love school.
I love school.
Okay, only 3 of you said, okay, I get it. Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to say good morning to everyone at all the regional sites and here in this room. I'm so excited to be here with everyone. You can just call me Dr. P. That's what all my students call me, or former students. Actually, 3 or 4 of them came down. I didn't even know they worked here. My students work in so many organizations throughout Baltimore, Maryland, and D.C. And it's always exciting when I go to places to see them. I wanted to start by thanking Ms. Pender for inviting me. Susanna, I want to thank Susanna for inviting me. Susanna is actually a former student. When did you graduate?
2004.
Okay, she graduated many years ago, as a number of other students I saw today here did. And she was always a compassionate, focused, and I always found her to be an interesting student. And so I think she's a great ambassador for not only the program she graduated from, the program I co-direct, but also for this organization and everything. Now, daughters and sons, the fact that you all agreed to be here today, to be present, is an indication that your parents can count on you. And it's really a powerful, I think, message to state. Now, by being here in your presence, not even verbally. So one thing I would like you to do in the beginning right now is to, please, all daughters and sons, could you stand up? Stand up, please. Everyone stand up, please. Now, among the other things that I do, I also teach martial arts, about 3 different styles of martial arts throughout the Baltimore community. And I generally begin my day with something called moving meditation. Some people call it Qigong, which basically stands for and translates into cultivation of your life force. And so we're just going to begin with a really basic exercise. And so if everyone could just stand with your feet about shoulder length. And what we're going to do is, and just watch me the first time, and I'll explain what I'm doing. As I move my hands up slowly, I'm breathing in deeply through my nostrils and pushing the breath down in my belly. And then when I sink down, I sink my knees slightly. You don't have to go that far down. And you just move your hands very slowly. And then you move them back up like this. And while you're doing this, and this is just a practice run, while we're doing this, you're also maintaining a positive thought in your mind, something that makes you happy, something that makes you smile. So we're doing three things. We're going to be doing a slow movement, deep breaths, through our nostrils only, breathing in and out, and a positive mindset. You all ready to begin? Yes. How about yes? Yes. How about yes one more time? Yes. That's it. There you go. So we're going to begin. Get in your stance, and we're moving up slowly. All hands going up slowly. Slowly sink down. Breathe deeply. Continue the movement. Up again. Slowly sink down once again. Remember your positive thoughts, those beautiful thoughts. Up once more. Hands come down slowly. Very good, very good. One more time. And then this time, just bring your hands to your side. Shake it out. All right. Now we're going to start, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit. Now, I'm going to share a few things about myself as they relate to my message that we are all connected. Now, sometimes we are categorized. People like to group us as different. And we do have differences. And there's nothing wrong with having differences. But what we have in common is that we are all human beings. We are more alike than different. We share similar experiences that link our humanity together like a patched quilt. Have any of you ever seen a quilt that's all sewn together? They can be beautiful works of art. My grandmother used to sew. These patches, it sounds like my speaker has gotten a little louder here. These patches are of different designs, different styles, different colors, and different shapes. But they are all connected. They're all connected one to another. These patches are not defined by their differences. These patches are defined by their attachments. The attachments that bind and join the quilt together, connecting them as one unit. I believe that the more we understand how connected we are, the more we will share responsibility for one another. And I think that greater responsibility can also go towards families and communities supporting one another, organizations and institutions being more accountable for their customers and their citizens. The more that we are aware and understand and share that belief, connections can strengthen reliability. These connections can strengthen loyalty and dependability. Now, my bio was already shared, but what I wanted to say about the Human Services Administration program, my co-director and I have graduated hundreds and hundreds of students who attempt to make a difference in the world, from higher level organizations like this to a few who work for SAMHSA, overseas states for federal funding, to others who just put together nonprofits in their community. It may be for wayward teenagers, but whatever the students do who come out of this program, what they're attempting to do is make this world better, which we call social consciousness, that we want our students always to understand that there are so many beautiful things that happen in this world every day, and we can't forget the beauty when we see other things on the television sometimes. There is so much beauty around us. But those things that do happen that aren't so beautiful, there needs to be a group of people who try to look at those problems and create solutions to make things better. Many thinkers throughout history have suggested that the greatness of a society should be measured by how it treats its most vulnerable populations. Vulnerable populations are people who may be homeless, who may be sick, who may be experiencing some type of addictions, who just need help. People who don't have families and don't have support systems. Those are what we call vulnerable populations. Our program, the Human Service Administration program, tries to create leaders to look at those problems and make them better. I'm going to discuss a few of my interests that kind of were already mentioned, but these things connect me like Wi-Fi for both sharing moments with individuals and groups and empowering people. And I hope you don't mind if I refer to you as daughters and sons. I just want to keep on saying young people. Daughters and sons, raise your hands if you have ever watched the cartoon Dora the Explorer. I got you with that one, didn't I? You didn't see that coming, did you? Well, I, like Dora the Explorer, love to go on adventures that were mentioned by Ms. Pender earlier. A matter of fact, one of my former students who was just in here was discussing how she had a lot of my pictures on Facebook of me riding elephants. And in Thailand, when I went to Thailand, I rode elephants all over the place, bathed with the elephants. It was a big elephant too. And I've ridden horses and camels and all kinds of things, but elephants have a very you have to really kind of work with the elephant when you're riding the elephant. And I like to immerse myself into the culture, become part of the culture, so I don't just do the touristy things all the time. I do some of those things, but I really spend time with people from the country often. Now, if you understand elephants in Thailand and their history, you understand that they weren't just beasts of burden. They helped them with agriculture, and they actually looked up to the elephants and admired their strength. And so it wasn't just about being a beast of burden. So I want you to understand that. And it was the same way in Morocco and Egypt, where I rode camels. Now, my riding the camels in Morocco was really, really interesting. I met a group of people there, and we rode in what you call a caravan through the Sahara Desert and everything. A caravan is basically a group of camels linked together, kind of linked together like humanity, and linked together like the weaving I was talking about. And so we all were riding, and there were many, many different groups of linked camels. We were from all over the world. I was probably one of the few people there who spoke English. I speak broken languages, but nothing really fluent. And so it was a really long ride, actually, when I thought about it. I was halfway through there, and I was by far the youngest person there. And halfway through, I'm thinking, you ever seen that cartoon, not the cartoon, the movie, Are We There Yet? That's pretty much what I was thinking. But I couldn't let anybody know how much pain I was in as I was riding the camel, because they were all younger, so I had to act like I was okay. But about halfway through, I was like, are we there yet? Because it's not like you're looking off on highways. There's nothing but sand around you. And it was quite intimidating. We're riding up and down sand dunes, and some people were falling off the camels. But once we finally got there, we camped out in the Sahara Desert. And what became amazing is that although we spoke different languages, although we looked nothing like each other, we end up enjoying each other like family that evening. We danced, we ate food, they sent the drum around, and some people, they sang their national anthem or song. I do some spoken word poetry, or at least I used to, so I kind of freestyled a poem. And I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm freestyling a poem with all these people I really don't speak the common language with, and we're all enjoying ourselves. And I think that was because being human and just being human was enough. It didn't matter how anybody looked. It didn't matter how anybody sounded. It didn't matter how tall or short someone was. And so that was really one of my most amazing experiences traveling. Daughters and sons, I want to ask you another question. Have any of you ever watched a cartoon or animated series? As my niece corrected me, I said, that's a nice cartoon. My niece said, animated series, Uncle Bridle. I said, oh, okay. Animated series. Have any of you ever watched Dragon Ball Z or Avatar, The Last Airbender? Okay, a few of you have. Okay. Well, like those cartoons or animated series have a lot of martial arts. As I stated before, I'm a martial artist. I teach a few different martial arts throughout the community. One is Tai Chi, which basically means Grand Ultimate Fist. Qigong, Cultivation of Life Force. I'm also a certified self-defense instructor. Now, the first place I ever began teaching is at a place called the Dao Dojo School of the Way. And it's a school for young people who really don't have the best family situations. Sometimes the mother is there, sometimes the father is not there, sometimes the parents may be sick in some ways and not really be able to support their children the way they should. And it's a place for people to come in with young people who have challenges so we can teach them martial arts. Now, there are a number of different martial artists that teach there. I teach Tai Chi and Qigong, as I stated, and self-defense. We have people to teach Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu and all different types, but all of the martial artists are there to volunteer. We're all professionals, but we also volunteer our time there because martial arts is very expensive, but it also, we do it for free, and that's why we volunteer, but also we try to build community building into what we do. So although students don't have to pay us money, what they do pay us is with time. They agree to be mentored by one of us, martial artists, but at the end of each month, they also agree to do a community project so they can learn how to give back as we give back and everything. And so it's a really, really powerful program. We try to empower them, give them a support system, and we have many good stories and narratives that I won't go into now, but just a few. Some people went to college after that, a few years being in the program. Some have gone to the military, developed a small business. Not only do we help them and support them, but we also use our networks to try to give them opportunity and everything and access to people that they might not normally have access to. And volunteering can be a very, very powerful tool. Young people volunteering or actively participating in community projects, this can have a powerful long-term impact on how young people see people in need, their perceptions of responsibility, and their social consciousness enhanced. And as I stated before, social consciousness is understanding the good that goes on in the world, but also understanding that things aren't always so good and how we can make those things better. So we can learn so much from young people. Young people know how to ask for what they want. They intuitively understand the importance of human connections and how to get their needs met. Some people say, it was an interesting book, I can't remember the name of it, but it said that the child actually trains the parent. A child cries, and what does the parent do? They feed them. Now, if a young person wants that crust cut off their bread for their sandwich, guess what happens? The crust gets cut off the bread for their sandwich. So I'll say to adults that if you really, really want to enjoy your peanut butter jelly sandwich, don't be embarrassed to ask somebody to cut the crust off your bread. You know you want to. Just kidding. Now, when your child experiences a small injury, and we can call it a boo-boo. Have any of you ever had a boo-boo before? Show of hands. Okay, we'll call it a boo-boo. A children knows to seek help from their parents. And the reason they know to seek help from their parents is because they know that they what? They know that they can count on you to be there for them and to help them and support them. And I believe that sometimes adults forget to ask for help because we're adults and we don't need help from anyone. We're strong. And sometimes when we do that, things can get worse. And so I think sometimes it would be better for adults to tap into their inner child with the understanding that for the most part, we can count on people around us. Now, I'm going to ask everyone in the audience to look to your left and to look to your right and say to that person on each side of you that you can count on me. With passion, you can count on me. One more time together, you can count on me. That was good. That was much better. Very good. Now, I remember one time when I was a small child and I didn't exactly do what my mother asked me to do. She used to work a lot and always came home and cooked a good meal for us, a wonderful meal. But she would always bring us snacks. Any of you like snacks? Oh, I know all of you like snacks. Don't even try it. And so she would bring us these cheese and cracker snacks together. I don't remember if anyone remembers it, but they had this little cheese on one side and crackers on the other side. I used to love those things. I don't even know if they still make them. Well, anyway, my mother came home a little later that day and said, Bridal and James was my younger brother, and said to us, please, here are your snacks, but please do not eat the crackers and cheese and crackers until after I get finished cooking dinner, so not to ruin our appetites. And I agreed because I was just thankful to get the snacks in my hand. And I went in my room and I placed the snacks on the table. And then something strange happened in my imagination. It felt like the snacks were calling me. They were asking me to eat them. Eat me, Bridal, eat me. And I'm sitting there looking at the cheese and crackers. I'm like, no, my mother asked me not to. But I couldn't help myself. And so I ate the cheese and crackers. Now, I knew I was wrong because my mother should be able to count on my word, but this time I succumbed to the crackers and cheese. And so as I walked out to the table to eat dinner, I was kind of paranoid because it always seemed like my mother had superpowers, like she can see through the walls and she can hear me at long distances. Like I would say, get on my nerves. What? And I was like, how does she possibly hear that downstairs? And so anyway, I walked to the dinner table and my mother gave me this look like she was at the table. She said, I know she was in the kitchen and she looked at me like this. She just gave me this look. Any of you get that mother look when you do something wrong? Nobody in this room ever got a mother look. I'm sure you did. Well, she gave me that mother look and I kind of like stopped in my tracks. I was like, she knows I ate the cheese and crackers. I don't know how she knows, but she knows. And the funny thing about my mother is she wouldn't always say something, which made it worse. If she said to me, you shouldn't have done this, I'm sorry, but she wouldn't say anything, so I'm thinking, should I say something? So I don't know, it was a mother trick, I guess, I don't know. But she didn't say anything to me, and I felt bad for days. And I didn't like that feeling of not being accountable to my word, to my mother. And so I really spent a lot of time, not that I haven't made mistakes since, but I really try to be a person of my word, especially when I was a child. And when I became an adult, I'm like, I'm always going to be like that and everything. So I will never forget that moment. So I'm going to go back in one of my trips again while I'm in Peru. Well, Peru is a beautiful place, and I always wanted to see this place called Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. So on my way there, I met a gentleman from Ireland, an older man. Sometimes when I travel, I meet random people and we just get into deep conversations for no reason. You know, and it's funny how sometimes, even on plane rides, people don't know you. I guess they imagine I'll never see this person again. So they'll tell you all kinds of things, you know, like maybe I didn't need to know that. And so in Peru, I met this man from Ireland, and he showed me this picture of what I found out to be was his wife. Now, he had told me that his wife was now in heaven, and the reason he was traveling is because when they were together, she always asked him to travel with her. He said he loved his wife, but he loved her in the way that he felt like, I'm the man, I need to work, and as long as I'm working, I'm okay. And he told me that he told her he would go with her many times, but he never would go because he was working, not because he didn't want to. And so he was traveling now back to all the places she had been. And what he was trying to do, in his way, is honor his word to her. He went, so she had been to Peru before, and he said, this is where she had gone. I have pictures of it. And matter of fact, he had a picture of the spot she was in, and we were around that same spot. And I never forgot that particular experience. I found it to be very powerful for him to share that, and him to take his time to trace his wife's steps through her travel. I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. Another person I met in Peru, my tour guide, who was bilingual. And so I would try to take the opportunity to talk to people who spoke my common language, because sometimes I would be there 2 or 3 days and haven't really spoken to anyone in a real conversation. So because she was bilingual, she could talk 2 languages, speak 2 languages, I wanted to make sure that I talked to her. So I asked her, could we go to lunch together? And she said, yes, we can go to lunch. And afterwards, we never got to talk about the cultural things I wanted to talk about. And we never got to talk about the historical things I wanted to talk about. We just really sat down and we were 2 people talking about life, everything that was going on in her life. And I thought it was amazing. Because I was sitting there thinking, I'm in the middle of Peru and having this conversation with this Peruvian woman, and we're just talking about life. And that could have happened anywhere in the world. And the reason I bring it up to you all, daughters and sons, is because I want you to understand that we're very alike all over the world, even though we live in different places and we may look different. So I just want you all to kind of understand that. And it was a really amazing, amazing experience. So these things reinforce to me that sometimes we can be fooled by our eyes. Sometimes we look at someone with our eyes and we look out the outside of them and we think because they look differently and speak differently that they are different people than who we are, but we're all part of the same race as the human race. And we are always more similar than we are alike, no matter what your eyes tell you. We're on the inside, there's not much difference. Now, I'm nearing my conclusion now, and I just wanted to say a few things to you all, daughters and sons, that you may be able to take with you, and maybe it can make you more accountable to yourselves. Now, one thing is, if I would say anything to someone who was young, like my mother did when I was young, I read everything. A lot of the travels that I went on later in my life were the travels I experienced in my mind. When we didn't have the internet, we had all these encyclopedias, if anybody was encyclopedias, and that's what I would read. That was my internet to really, really tap into places. My mind would go to places in the other parts of the world, and now as an adult I'm able to do that, but that's where it started for me. So I would say to you, please, read everything. Well, not everything. Age-appropriate materials, I'm saying, but read as much as you can. There's a lot of educators that believe that a young person's vocabulary, spelling ability, and ability to communicate has a lot to do with how much you read or how much you don't read. Another thing I may say to you, no matter how young you are, is learn money management. And what I mean is that learn how to count your money. I don't care if you just have $5. Learn how to save that for that thing you want. Save the next allowance until you can get what you want. There's so much research, I know you all probably don't really care about research, but that's kind of what I do, that talks about how when you teach a young person how to manage their money, they usually have better outcomes as adults financially and everything. And when those of you who get close to the college age, be careful with credit cards. They are not your friends, even though they may seem like it when you're spending them. Another thing I would say to you all to leave with you is that please, when you make mistakes, as we all do through the rest of our lives, make sure that you learn from your mistakes. Make sure that you learn and grow from your setbacks and experiences. And I say that to all of us because it's really important to develop your integrity and character. The last thing I will say and leave you with is that it would be good if your parents would allow you, I think, to volunteer with people in populations that are less fortunate than you are. You can learn so much, a lot of powerful lessons from volunteering and seeing people in different types of the world or in your own community that may not have the same possibilities and access you have, and not through any fault of their own generally. So the last thing I'm going to ask you all to do is stand up all together one more time. Stand up, please. I'm going to ask that you all hold hands if you're near someone. Hold hands with the person next to you. Link your hands together, please. And I'm just going to say a few words and we'll be done. I'm almost finished. But please hold hands with someone. If you don't feel comfortable holding hands, connect to them. Put your hands on their shoulder, but connect to the person next to you. And these will be my final words to you. May we all continue to seek our best selves, and may we all continue to see the best in others. Let us seek opportunities that expand our experiences and learn more about each other as human beings. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Embrace your worth and value. Push through your fears and stand up for things that you know to be right. Because we all, every one of us, deserves to have a meaningful and beautiful life. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
All right, I'm hoping I can depend on you to join me in giving Dr. P a round of applause. And so, Dr. Pearson, we appreciate you coming out, taking time out of your schedule, and for making this presentation today during our Taking Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day program for your words of wisdom. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much. You all have an amazing day.
Okay, so we're about to depart, but before we do, I have someone is missing a jacket. Okay. Very good. Okay, so all of our chaperones are standing, and so can I can I count on you is what I need to know right now. This is a big building, even if you've been here 5 times and hallways look the same. But I need you to make sure you know who your chaperone is, that you know what color you have, and so that you follow them. So as we go to our workshops, are you ready, Ed? Okay, so we'll have the orange group go ahead and, I'm sorry, the pink group. They're going to go with Ed. So we'll have the pink group get up and follow Mr. Ed. So the pink group is exiting, the orange group is organizing. I love your head. 5. Okay, the orange group, if you're ready, you can exit the auditorium. Yep, and you're going to follow this color and this show. Okay, so. We got all kinds of colors in our group. All right, so the greens, you can go ahead. Okay. See you go.